if you talk to anybody who is over 35, I will in America
Mm-hmm.
anywhere, everybody knows the gremlin rules. Like you said,
Oh, of course.
don't expose them to bright light. Sunlight kills them.
Nope.
Don't get them wet. And absolutely under no circumstances should you feed them after midnight. That's such a
Nope.
even
Nope.
on
Nope.
its own, that's a brilliant just setup for like a movie. Like you get something, you get rules, and you know people are gonna jack the rules up
Of
completely.
course. Especially when you tell somebody not to do something, what happens,
They're
man?
gonna do it.
Inevitably, they do the very thing you tell
They're
them not to
gonna
do.
do it. They're absolutely like even how Gizmo look, here's the thing, man. When you watch this movie, right, within the first like 15 minutes of having Gizmo, they break almost all the rules. Like
Every single
right
one.
away, the mom flashes the camera and like almost blinds him, almost causes Gizmo to be
Mm-hmm.
blind. Then he goes upstairs, he shines a light in Gizmo's face, knocks him in the trash can. Then he takes Gizmo,
Yep.
puts him in the bathroom, and sits him on the sink right by the faucet, the toilet. I'm watching and I'm like, dog, are you trying to get this thing messed up? Of course you are.
That's the crazy thing about it, man. Like in the bathroom, there's 3 sources of water: the toilet, the sink, and the
Yeah.
tub. So why would you go there of
Yeah,
all
it's
places?
so crazy. It's so crazy, man. But that's part of the brilliance of the movie, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's like you're watching it and you gotta like Gizmo, the design of Gizmo is just amazing, right? It's just one of those just and really cute things. Like it's like if there was like a
Mm-hmm.
cute movie show thing, Gizmo's number one, Baby Yoda's probably number two, right? And I remember like get like people wanting the little Gizmo. I had the little Gizmo doll. Like I had it. It was plastic. It was hard as hell. If you dropped it, it would like break your toe, right? But it was like it was cute. And people had that. People loved that little thing, man.
Yo, you got to remember that's also during the height of the Cabbage Patch
Yep,
joints, the Garbage Pail
yep,
Kids,
yep,
Barbie,
yep.
He-Man. So like
Transformers,
every
GoBots, all that stuff,
yeah.
man.
So the key was getting a toy. Every year was like the
Yep.
thing. I don't know what it is now, because it's been a minute since my kids were like, I gotta have this toy. But there was a go-to toy during that
Yeah.
period. I would say like from 80 to about
Yeah.
88. Like there was a toy every season, and then it even shifted for a hot minute to game
Yeah.
systems. Like you had to have Nintendo when it came
Yep.
out. You had to have ColecoVision,
Yeah.
Atari, Sega, Game Box, GameCube. What was it? What was the Nintendo joint?
Game
Game
Boy.
Boy.
The Game Boy, the Game
Game
Boy.
Boy.
Tetris.
You had like all,
Yeah, Tetris
yeah.
about it. Yeah. No, I
Oof,
mean like
all them
it's
joints,
it's a
man.
good point, man. And this movie, like you mentioned it in the beginning. So you said like this is considered a horror comedy movie, right? Which
Yeah,
I never even knew
yeah,
was a thing, really, for real. It's kind of like reminds me of
yeah.
like your favorite genre of movies, which is calamities, when like it's killing and jokes in it. Like that's your that's your thing. But this is a horror comedy movie, right? So I was looking, so I was like so fascinated when I looked. I was like, what is a horror comedy, right? So these are some of the
Yeah.
movies that fit into horror comedies, right? So you got
Mm-hmm.
obviously Gremlins is one,
Right.
Ghostbusters is another, and
Yeah.
Ghostbusters and Gremlins came out at the same time in 1984, same date. Very interesting there.
Yeah.
Critters, which I didn't think
Yeah.
anything was funny about the Critters. Them joints were terrifying, man. Remember those little balls that whatever like
Little sinister rolling
like
ball.
porcupines,
Yeah.
like evil porcupine kind of
Mm-hmm.
things. Those things we'll never cover that show because I'm not watching that no more.
Nah.
The Lost Boys. Remember that was a great. I really like that one.
I didn't think of that as a
Horror
comedy though.
comedies. It's considered a horror comedy. This is one I think was Beetlejuice. The first Beetlejuice is
All right,
considered a horror
that would
comedy.
qualify.
And then
Yeah.
another example is like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie.
I thought that was dude, I thought that joint was like a B-roll, like you know what I mean, like a bootleg. When I first saw it, I was like,
It's considered it's
chill.
considered a horror comedy movie, and Gremlins is squarely in and a part of that. So like it's funny when you look at these movies now. Obviously, we're looking at it as like grown up. So when you're children, you look at it a little differently. Now I see it and I see like all these things in it, and I'm like, dang, is there like a hidden message in this thing? Like I
Yeah.
got so look. So here's one of my things, right?